and he has worked as a he's a founder and director of Tripod Knowledge Systems, and he's a consultant as a consultancy and services. And he also comes with a very wide background of mobile application, software development, testing, automation, and all the SW process methodologies. And he has worked with multiple of organizations as a business strategy advisor and board members to some of the best organizations. And today he specializes in
This is my work experience.
yes, so he specializes in mobile application, and he also has worked in a lot of organizations like the Motorola, Ericsson, Nokia, Broadcom, and the kind of names what we might have heard when we were younger, and also we might have used these technologies or the mobile phones earlier. So I think you'll get a lot of interesting tips. And a basic introduction to what exactly is Internet of Things and how today it is evolving, and the kind of work, the kind of career options one can learn from it. So thank you so much, sir, for joining. Over to you.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let me do the completeness part of myself. So basically, I'm right now since a few years I have been more into business consulting and working with startups and young entrepreneurs and CEOs to see how I can enable their business units or work out opportunities for them or connect them to some and then coach them to see how they can enhance their. That is, so there's a list of startups that I'm connected with. Uh, and this is my work experience, as Riddhi said. So I am also kind of involved in guiding BTech students in IIT Madras as an official mentor as part of the Click program. And uh, yeah, this is, I think, she covered. So I would like to generally emphasize on this cash strategy. People should understand this, whoever wants to aspire, right? So there is something called contacts, aspirations, skills, and homework, right? So uh, when you have contacts and aspirations, you need to upskill yourself and define the homework, and then cash will follow. That's what I mean by that. Okay. So, and typically, when I work with some institutions, I emphasize on ABC strategy, where enhancement of performance of a engineering college or any college for that matter is typically many institutions only engage in academics and but they don't know or they don't go too much into business and consulting, which has started off late in many institutions. So business and consulting is the next one, and then this is the primary reason why we are talking to each other today. I am very very interested and passionate about connecting with youngsters. So I do run a program wherein I call this as youngsters to young stars. So it comes through gaining critical thinking. What exactly is design thinking? How do you trigger innovative thinking in you? And obviously, I do love being a kind of global patriot of India, green global India. So it's like I really love to do something back to the country, which is I call rebuilding great green global India. Right. So we'll start with this is about myself. So let's go with our PT. So uh, as I see, a lot of people are uh, already into IoT, right? But this is my agenda, which I have framed based on the inputs I received from Ayushi. So typically, we have what is IoT? It as the name states, right? Internet of Things, right? So why IoT matters and why it is important today in the today's context, both from the students' academics point of view and in general the industry point of view and so on. And what are the core components or involved things in IoT if you really want to do something? then what are the typical scenarios we will probably touch base, and what kind of challenges are there, and what kind of security issues might be there in the IoT domain. Key technologies that are going to enable IoT. Basically, IoT has an ecosystem, and the ecosystem involves quite a few things. And what kind of skills the IoT engineers should have in order to kind of build a career in for themselves. That is one thing which we might touch base. Future trends is like how it will evolve along with AI, and what might be your career orientation and action plan, which might be the real take home for many of the youngsters on this program, on this webinar. So uh, let's talk about slight evolution here of how IoT, even before IoT, right? So most of you would have seen the evolution only from internet to Internet of Things in this particular webinar, most of the audience. But we were part of the evolution right from semiconductors to electronics to computers to then communication, computer networking, then mobile, and then smartphone, and then internet, and so on, right? So every stage, right, at every stage of these innovations, like electronics created a huge uh, very huge impact on lifestyles and ecosystem opportunities and so on. Similarly, when computers came, it created a big impact, because what could be done by uh, people, 10 people, 100 people, was done by like a computer in no time. So there's a huge shift uh, in the way the ecosystem was responding. Similarly, internet created a big boom. Lot of web technology evolved over the computers, database, a lot of remote working, and so on. And then came mobile, where yeah, mobility to the connectivity, right? So that uh, has really changed the world again. Then that is where this Internet of Things came, where only until then, until 2010 or so, maybe, yeah, then 2010 or so, IoT was still evolving. So there, that is where there was a need to connect different items or the things that we are working with or we are interacting with, also to be enabled through internet. So that created a big domain called IoT, and it has been evolving. It will still evolve, and it will continue to evolve because it is still, I would say, uh, not so impacting yet, but it is on the way, right? So, typical connected scenario where IoT will be used. This is more for people who are not at all aware of uh, IoT, right? That just is just for them. So we have many objects. Whatever we see in front of us is a product, right? And every product, like for instance, we use a car, we forget our keychain, let's say. How do you trace your keychain, right? It is as simple as that kind of a scenario. Versus when we do it, these are all in household scenarios where if you see here, right, in a household scenario, uh, connected objects, you, let's say you are cooking something and you need to be informed that something is done onto your mobile so that you can go and take care of it, or you are remotely managing your parents who need to be serviced with a medicine or something like that, right? So they need to be given a medicine, specific medicine, which they cannot take themselves. So that's a typical scenario where you can design a IoT product, wherein from your office you can. So, what is the driving factor? I really want to also trigger some questions here. Maybe Riti, you can make that question as a in the chat and then look for responses. So, what is the driving factor for an IoT to be? Why do people go for IoT? Why do you want IoT in place? So what is your perspective? I just want to know some in one line basically, right? But by the time we cover these slides, one or two slides, it will be good to see the poll on how people. So in education, right? For instance, quite a few people have. I mean, you would have seen it, right? Attendance earlier it was all manual. People have to take attendance by calling names. Maybe it is still being followed. So instead, if there is a camera and if there is a small device within every student's badge, it will just collect all the data and tell the lecturer or the professor that these are the people who are in the class. Finished, done. So that is another simple application in education field. If you really want to look at education as a domain from IoT perspective, oh, there are huge things that can be, it's a plethora of opportunity. Again, similarly, so smart grid is more on the in the power sector where, let's say, I don't know if you guys know, in the power distribution, right? There are quite a few issues when it comes to maintenance of these power lines and a lot of systems that needs to be maintained. So when you want to maintain some of these things, even today, many places people have employed manual stuff is there. People who are actually on the field have to go and check few things to check whether something is right, wrong, or is it going bad, and is ready for maintenance. So employing a person for a particular task to be done at a very regular interval to in order to get the maintenance activity triggered, or in order to maintain those devices or systems in proper this thing, so that there is no power cut in in the city, right? So some such thing in the background, we only see the power coming to our home, but there is so much of activity that is done by the power distribution teams in the government power distribution teams. They do face. I'll give you one simple example that might help you to understand the power of IoT. So typically there are the lines between two distribution lines, right? It has a it has a sag. It actually it will be so stiff that due to climatic conditions or whatever, there is every possibility that the wire, the high tension line, can get cut, and then that live wire can actually create a problem if in just in case there. In fact, I know some people in our transport electricity transport team. One of the divisional engineers, we were discussing that, wherein if the transmission line gets cut, right, it actually cuts it goes and touches the train that is going underneath that track. So it's such a dangerous thing. So there is no way they can find out whether that particular wire is actually in good condition, or is it just about to cut. Or so as of today, the process is there will be a manual team that will be monitoring and making sure that that power line is switched off, and they need to work out a time slot where the trains are not going underneath that. They need to work with the railways department. So much background work happens. So with this, so which means for a very simple thing of checking whether the line is perfect or not, so many manly hours or man hours are actually spent to figure out whether there is a problem and does it need maintenance. How do we plan the maintenance? So all this can be avoided if there is an innovative solution which you can plug in there, I don't want to discuss the solution part as of now. I'm just trying to introduce what exactly is the IoT and what is the opportunity we have here at hand, both for the students, for the professionals, for the industry, and so on. Right. So then we have a vehicular network, right? So in traffic management, we have issues. At this juncture, I would like to, Riddhi, it's okay. I just want to share something else outside of the context of this particular webinar. Is it okay? Am I audible? Hello, Riddhi?
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Yeah, I'm asking, can I share something which I just want to share with the team so that they can. So there is a uh, yeah.
Yes, audible.
Can you see this? Can you see this? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Right. So I would like to open this for a you know I am working on some ideas for this. It will be a good idea if some of the students can also try to participate in this National Road Safety Hackathon that IIT Madras has called for. It will be very good, even if you just participate and try to share your thoughts. It's a national level center of excellence for road safety, wherein IIT Madras is called. 17th November is the last date. So I'm just saying, you see here, there is a very clear context of at a national level, there is a drive to uh, trigger innovation, and these are the different. There's a rule book here, and you can actually go through it. Yeah, this is right. So you can have anybody can submit ideas and then try to participate and give a solution for this, right? So there are three types of this thing. So this is one clear application, right? Uh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. So that I can share the link, or you can just go to IIT Madras Road Safety Hackathon in the LinkedIn. You will see that, or even you might see that even in the normal internet. You can get it, or you can approach me. As I said, this is my mail mail ID and email. I mean, you can get it from Riddhi, or you can reach me on my WhatsApp, no issues, or through Ayushi. Anything is fine, and then try to register and then share your thoughts. So, road safety, as I said, vehicular traffic, there is a lot of push at national level and international level. Auto driving, right? Tesla has their own network of auto driven cars. All that is enabled through obviously, and we have smart cities. This is again an interesting thing where a lot of automation is being done by many government sectors for managing the city in such a way that there is less wastage of power, there is less wastage of personal, the health hazards are avoided, many such things. So, and telecom is another domain where IoT is also used, and manufacturing industry is also there. Actually, e-health, I think wearable devices, everybody knows that, right? So e-health is one more thing, and manufacturing industry. There is a, like for instance, if you have a big industry that is doing production, like let's say some car production thing is there. So there might be a very huge fan or exhaust fan that is running in that industry, which has to ensure that all the uh, it is a huge fan. Let's say typically those fans will be not accessible to people. It will be somewhere deep inside or somewhere in a tube somewhere and so on. So there is no way a person can go and monitor whether that fan is working okay, does it need any maintenance, and so on. So there are quite a few scenarios like uh, vibration sensors are used, and there are quite a few methodologies to see how that fan is performing, and then trigger a maintenance automatically without a manual person going and trying to check everything is fine or not. So that's on the. This is again on the uh, smart home and office, as initially what Riddhi was talking about. So everybody's home, unlike earlier, are not so. One is very small families. If you can see in today's world, right? You don't have huge families like earlier, where there are 15 people or 20 people, brothers and sisters staying together, right? It's all distributed more in the urban network and also in village network, right? Distributed houses are there. So typically you will have husband, wife, children, and maybe just parents in on both sides. So but in that scenario, how do you ensure that your house is fully safe? You have every, you know what's happening in your house. You want to make sure it is a safe place. You want to make sure so all these are scenarios. One is you can connect, you can operate your lights through your mobile phone. So you can literally enable that from your mobile phone, and then operate all your power gadgets in the house remotely through your mobile. That is one application. What does it mean? The thing which is a bulb or a light or a fan or whatever, AC and so on, right? They're all things, and they are enabled with internet. So again, this is more for those who don't know anything about IoT, or from the business perspective, business management kind of courses, right? So they may not know what is technology. So there are small sensors. I'll come to that sensors part later. What exactly typically an IoT thing will cover. So all that you can convert and control through your mobile phone, right? Because these IoT devices generate a lot of data and feed that back to the applications that are there on your mobile, and then you can control it. So this is a typical home office. It could be as simple as uh, you want to start your AC remotely. By the time you reach home from the parking lot to the this thing, your room is already cool and so on. If it is a hot place, right? So by the time you want to start from your parking lot to the actual bedroom, you want to ensure that it is. So it's a very small scenario. I'm just giving an example so that you know what exactly is the type of this thing. And this is a smart city, which I said, right? Energy management, water management, climate change, and flood modeling, and so on. So I all this content, to be honest, it is all from the internet again. I have not created any of these. As I said, it is more to, there's so much content available in the internet. This is more an interactive session where we take this content which is available on the internet as a context to discuss and then understand what is IoT. So smart city, as I said, there is energy management, uses IoT, water management. Uh, for instance, when the water has to be released to the areas, when it has to be closed. Till today, you have manual people who are managing it. And some in some hackathons, I do remember some challenges like the manholes that are open, right? They create havoc during huge flood time. When there is a heavy rain, these manholes have killed a lot of people. So I do remember reviewing one team which has done a solution wherein if the manhole is absent, it will, if it is raining, it will immediately, um, it will inform the departments and some people that there is a manhole here and so on. So which has no lid on it. So which the very risky thing when there is heavy rain. There's a lot of help for the government in managing things. Uh, However, how this ecosystem works, whether so, like for instance, who will make money out of it? Everybody, literally every stakeholder makes money out of it. The sensors guy, the data guy, the software guys, the AI guys. Everybody will make money, and probably the idea or the goal is to make sure the life of a common man is much safer, a better life, or a better tomorrow. That's the intent. Okay, so flood modeling, right? That is smart lighting. Today, um, uh, the typical street lights are switched off, on and off by the manual people, by men at work. So that can be managed as and when the sunset happens, the lights can get on, and they are trying to integrate solar plus this lighting and this IoT everything together so that it will be much more effective. Uh, Predictive lift maintenance uh, is basically the elevators, right, which are in malls, many places. uh, and I think one good example would be malls, right, where the temperature, when there are so much crowd suddenly, the ACs have to work harder or more with more efficiency, and so then they need to really be informed and make sure some adjustments are done such that uh, the temperatures are properly maintained within the malls. So that all that happens through IoT. So this is wearable devices. I am very sure all the youngsters might be knowing this. I don't need to cover much here. I am very sure about it. All the gadgets like health tracking, how many steps you have walked today, and so on. VP monitoring. This is healthcare. So obviously, when you have in a hospital kind of scenario, or a patient who has no uh, personal to look at, obviously those are the scenarios to think about solutions so that the patient is given the right service, or like I said, one example where giving a medicine, or somebody has a problem of falling down, so you can design a small IoT device which you put it on their hand. If they fall, it will alert the related concerned person that something happened, you might want to attend, right? So these are all generally scenarios. So what are the typical components of an IoT system? By the way, did we get any results from the survey already?
Yes, some of them have answered here,
Yeah,
like
can you just
in the
share?
chat. So they have mentioned like
I have to
real-time
stop sharing
application.
otherwise. Yeah, that's right.
No, no, it is not on the polls. It is here in the chat.
Huh.
So they have said real-time application devices can be connected and operated through the world using internet. Then there is physical objects or things communicating through the internet
Mm-hmm.
and using for smart innovations. And then
Yeah,
devices can be connected through the internet and can be operated all over the world.
yeah. So they seem to know some things, right? So that's good. They do have some idea about scenarios. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for that. Anything else which is slightly different from what we covered? Striking, anything striking? Strikingly different. No? Okay. So let's do a time check where we are. 38. Okay. So, sensors or devices, right? Like for instance, we have pressure sensor. So let's say in your home or in a kitchen or in a cafeteria or where the stock is maintained, uh, the stock manager who has to manage the inventory of the cafeteria to make sure all the dishes are covered, whatever is the raw material that is needed. If it is You can put a pressure sensor on those vessels where these items are stored, and probably sense when there is when that they are getting over or something like that. So it's something that kind of automation is possible, right? So which means the manager, the stock manager for the cafeteria need not literally go and check every item, uh, and then try to procure it, right? So there could be a solution where he can clearly get a picture of what all stock is there. Today's menu is this much. How much stock do you need for this? Oh, this is not there. So he can order upfront and then get it. This could be a similar thing even in warehouses, right? So that is one automated scenario. So sensors are pressure sensors. So other sensors are say, vibration sensors. You have temperature sensor. There are a whole bunch of sensors which are. Uh, One point I would like to generally share with the student groups is, how many of you have worked on Arduino board or E360 or all those kind of things? Maybe 20-30%. So these are all prototype models of any solution. So remember one thing, in an IoT, if you want to really design an IoT solution, uh, you start with a small prototype, make sure the concept works. But the sensors that you use to design IoT solution as a prototype, right? They cannot be as is used in a real-time environment. You need to have real-time. The sensors have to sustain those temperatures. They need to. Sometimes the sensors are exposed to heavy rains and or heavy temperatures. So the sensors have to be really costly sensors if you really want to design a solution for the real time world. It cannot go by the normal sensors that we use as part of the engineering college projects or what. That is just to make you understand what is the solution, how it works. But the sensors itself are of different quality. So please understand the ecosystem. One is at a prototype level, one at the proof of concept level, then at the productization level. So the real development cost is right from prototype to productization, then deployment, and then support. So there is a huge amount of work in writing the dashboards, apps, software, how the data is getting processed, what is the connectivity, do you use Wi-Fi, do you use 5G, and so on, right? So all these four aspects are quite important when you want to design a IoT system. And each of them, mind you, I am just repeating it, reiterating it, each of these four bullets, sensors is a huge domain by itself. Connectivity is a huge domain by itself. Data processing is a huge domain by itself. And user interface, the final interface that goes on to the user as a dashboard or an app or something, that is itself a huge device, a huge domain. So it is absolutely impossible for an engineer at second year or third year to understand where to focus, right? So this is the key take home I would like you to take home, and then ponder and try to understand these. So what is, go deep into all these domains and try to understand what is it you are interested in doing or involving in an IoT ecosystem. So sensors, right? Sensors involves a lot of physics, you need to be good at physics and many material devices, material science, and so on. That kind of things is for sensors. So people who are into chemical engineering, right? Yeah, they definitely are. I saw some people from chemical engineering. So there are so many. It's a pharmaceutical industry is full of chemical engineering, right? So there, and India is one of the uh, very big market for pharma industry, both market and supplier also, in other ways. So which means any chemical engineer should probably focus more on understanding what kind of sensors are needed to kind of sense what kind of chemicals, any hazardous chemicals, or and so on, and what is the physics behind it. So sensors is could be their specialization in the long run, from chemical engineering to next level sensors in chemical engineering, right? So that's why I'm saying probably software connectivity, data processing is more for uh, the electronics communication engineers and so on. And the user interface is typically for any computer science grad, or they can focus on how, when there is so much of data that is coming from IoT devices into the processing center, how do you display it to the user through user dashboards or apps, and how do you uh, tailor the data and present it properly such that they can take right actions, right? So this is just to get. So what are the four different layers? It is perception layer, right? That is one layer where you have sensors and devices. I will just show you. Yeah. So this is the perception layer, where you have the actual sensors involved, where they convert the physical parameter into a electrical. So earlier in our time, right, we used to call them as analog to digital device connect and ADC converters. So there used to be a sensor, and then it used to convert, like let's say pressure sensor, right? Any pressure variations used to get converted as a analog signal, electronic analog signal, that used to be fed into a ADC converter, and that ADC converter used to give us the digital value of that particular value at that instant of time. So that was the systems which we used to work. But now all that is kind of merged, and now we have sensors which directly give digital data. So which means it's like whatever physical parameter that is being sensed by the sensor, they are all packaged in such a way that you get the digital output, and maybe there will be a need for calibration. That is inevitable. You need to calibrate because over time the sensors might not behave as they are supposed to. So that the next one is, once there is data that is generated by the sensor, that something is happening and that is converted into a digital data, it has to be transmitted for the application layers, or somewhere where there is a processing center, that's called aggregation and processing, right? Database, somewhere it has to be stored. And then that communication, there are certain protocols called MQTT and so on, which are good areas of so this is what yeah, this is the protocols which you need to be aware of, and you can go deeper into them in your study, so that you get a feel of what is this. Yeah. Yeah, so these are all the real world applications. Agriculture is one major. In fact, I am connected with an agri company, one company which is actually my own friend is doing. Entire irrigation of the field can be done uh, through their through their solution. Riddhi, if you don't mind, I would like to share that website. Give me a minute.
Sure, sir.
Right. What's the time check? How much time do we have? 12 minutes.
We have 10 more minutes, and then
And
maybe we could take
will
Q
it stop
questions.
automatically after that, or
No, 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 no.
we can extend
Yes,
if
yes,
people
yes.
are
We can
okay.
extend,
Okay,
and
I
then we
just
can take
wanted to
more
know.
questions also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me a minute. Did I stop sharing?
Yes, you did.
Okay, one second. Sorry for the. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you see this?
Yes.
So he is my good friend who is doing this particular, is building this company and solution. So see how much of technology is involved. So you need to control the water, okay, and at real time you need to monitor. Then you have a irrigation controller, then soil sensors to sense whether the soil is wet or not, and there is something called fertigation control. So that's the, so yeah. So what I'm trying to share here is more of, there are people who are investing heavily uh, into uh, this particular uh, kind of an application area, the smart agriculture. So agriculture is definitely an area. If people are interested, it's a, and if you know, India is a country which is primarily dependent on agriculture, and typically all the current systems within the agriculture domain in the villages is, they are all not either, mostly they are very traditional and conventional based on lot of their ancestral methods, right? So a lot of corporates are actually piercing into, rather, they're getting into these areas, uh, and they are in fact combining agriculture and drone technology also. So there is a lot of IoT based drone related things that can be done in agriculture, because in a 10-acre land it's very difficult to go and check what is happening in the corner of the land, right? So uh, these are all very, very practical. So industrial IoT, as I discussed, right? Some huge fan kind of. It's just an example. So preventing predictive maintenance. So you can decide when a machinery has to come into maintenance. The reason why you need to be very planned and making sure maintenance is taken care, because if suppose a particular key component or a key device goes out of it goes for repair, getting it repaired or getting replacing it with a new system is such a huge problem that it will impact the whole supply chain of uh, generating their output from the industry. So, which means there will be a break in their supply chain, even if it might be a very small thing in the whole production system. But it is important that they need to make sure they have a backup plan, or they can get it repaired without breaking the production cycles. That is, if there is a, let's say there is a 10 days loss of production because of a small fan that is supposed to work is not working, it might be a huge cost for the company. So obviously they need a IoT solution. So they'll put some IoT devices, sensors within that fan, and then try to gather a lot of data and make sure it is properly maintained. As simple as that. So consumer IoT, as I said, is home automation. So what kind of technologies or things that you need to know is sensors and microcontrollers like ESP32, Raspberry Pi. Raspberry Pi is again a Broadcom device where I work for. So connectivity wise, you should probably understand the basics of how a Wi-Fi works, what Bluetooth is about, and LoRa and 5G and so on, that kind of connectivity aspects. So I am not going into the details of each of these bullets, because in 1 hour it's just next to impossibility to kind of cover all these things. So other aspect which comes into play in the ecosystem of IoT based systems is obviously when you have so much data that is getting generated, it has to be stored somewhere for processing, for future usage, or for record purpose, or so on, right? So every IoT solution will probably have a cloud based solution to store data and process it on the cloud instead of processing all the data using your own processors. So there is a need for cloud to be, cloud platform also to be involved in IoT solutions, so that the data that is regularly, continuously that is getting generated can be stored. And obviously, today is the day our world is going with. There is no field that is not touched by AML. Do you all agree? There is no field, literally no field. Education, HR, health, name it, you have it. Even including sports, arts, culture, technology, sports, health. I mean, whatever you call it, right? AIML is being used. So with this much of AIML in place, obviously IoT generates a lot of data, which enables for some tools to take decisions. So there is a potential possibility of merging IoT solutions with AIML solutions, so that things can be further automated, or there is even the software part can be made self-maintaining, or it will evolve over a period of time. For instance, without AIML, if you have an IoT solution for a specific data type of solution today, after 2 3 years there might be some changes either in the data that is getting generated, or some parameters that needs to be managed might change. All these are possibilities. So when you have such possibilities, you have to again rewrite the whole software tomorrow, in order to upgrade your entire solution for a new scenario after 3 years. Instead, if you have AIML kind of thing, probably it will evolve on its own by learning through machine learning and AI techniques, such that it will evolve as the problem is varying in its own sense. So if the problem is varying, the AIML solution will enable your software to probably change automatically. That could be a possibility. So hence AML and IoT can be merged is what I feel. Again, edge computing I think is something which needs some kind of understanding. So we will not go deep into this. This is done. Yeah, when you have data that is getting generated, just an example, right? We use our Aadhaar card and go and share it with anybody, but we don't we don't really share it in a secured mode. So anybody can literally get our Aadhaar card information and can misuse it, right? So similarly, any data that is getting generated by any IoT device, which is very private, for a particular home or a particular individual or for a particular company or so on, right? So that needs to be protected. Nobody, because it's all through internet, you should ensure that the data will not get siphoned out by other rogue elements outside who are trying to jeopardize the either the current company or the individual or the particular system and so on, right? So that could be it's like hacking kind of thing. So you should ensure that the data connectivity, while it is getting transmitted through the protocols that are used for connectivity, or the data itself when it is stored, none of these uh, uh, they cannot be exposed to any security issues or challenges. So because if that is depending on the scenario, for instance, there is a hospital data. No hospital would want to share their data outside, or if there is a solution which is actually going to monitor a particular patient which is in critical stage, which is IoT solution, let's say. So if it goes, if somebody can fiddle with that IoT data, then it can be very fatal for the patient that is in question. So obviously, you should have a mechanism to make sure. So that is a big domain again. So in within IoT, you have data security as a big domain, which is a career option. Hence, you can focus on that if you are interested. Similarly, authentication and encryption is obviously any device that is sending you data, you want to authenticate that that is a proper guy who is actually sending you the data. So these are all part of the data privacy protection, authentication, and encryption as part of the security aspects of data that is getting generated out of IoT devices. So, firmware vulnerabilities is any bugs that are there is uh, anybody can hack in and then create problems. So that is obviously when you have an embedded system with an IoT device, uh, nobody should be allowed to break into that particular firmware that is running to monitor something. That's it. Scalability and interoperability is obviously IoT devices are being manufactured by different vendors. So and it will be done at different scales. So when you have a multiple bigger scale of operation, the devices should not fail, or it should not it should still work reliably, right? Let's say a small device that is there which is working fine now is being deployed across thousand places in a smart city. You cannot say out of I mean since it is thousand devices, it is failing. The scalability aspect, basically, when you scale a solution from a small scale to a bigger scale, like from a home solution to, let's say, a bigger smart city solution, the entire solution involves uh, uh, what should I say? It should work reliably. That's all I can say at this point of time. And similarly, the devices that are there from different manufacturing vendors, like for instance, uh, I have a vendor A who has an who has a device, IoT device, and I in the next year I bought another IoT device which is of similar operation. So how do I make sure these two work together properly for my solution? That is called interoperability. So they need to work together properly. So there are a lot of standards that are defined for interoperability issues within IoT, like data harmonization and so on. So that is another aspect within IoT, which needs to be, which is again a domain by itself. A lot of work is going on and people can contribute there. Yeah. So as I said, this is the career line. This is probably a good. Anybody who wants to raise questions, they can raise on this particular slide because that might be interesting for them to ponder further in their career journey. So I'll probably give a minute here to people to note down or write questions. So one is hardware design engineer. So you can hardware design hardware solutions from the IoT perspective, which has a software, which has a sensor and some hardware device and so on. Or you can develop an embedded system which will plug in your sensor plus some data collection data collection solution, and embed that into an embedded system solution. That is one way. Or you can write software which is going to deal with this data and then enable it uh, to be shared or analyzed and take decisions. Obviously, when the data is moved into cloud, you need network and cloud specializations. So you can either focus on, you can also focus on network and cloud specialization. And when the data is coming in, there is a lot of data analysis that happens. So you can become a data analyst. So a lot of data science type of courses are there which you can do and then make a career out of IoT data analyst. So this is where I would like to leave the engineers to think further. So for short term, in next 1 2 years, you should probably understand the electronics and embedded C programming, learn Python for sure, and then MQTT. That's the protocol which is used to connect to small do-it-yourself projects in IoT. This will give you a good confident yeah. And then try to any opportunity you see, try to see how you can solve it through an IoT. You may not actually solve it, but start putting them into a written form of your own solution for a problem which you are seeing in your daily life. That will help you to evolve your IoT perspective overall. Okay, and in the next 3 to 5 years, obviously, you should work on some real good projects which are involving IoT. You should probably subscribe to open source stuff and then work on industrial projects, which you can connect to people like us who can probably, when I say us, through Mentor Cloud, uh, and then see where you can get real-time projects, problem statements, and then try to do prototype solutions for that. uh, Exploring the AI and edge integration, that is AI plus IoT stuff. And long term, yeah, you can become a IoT solution architect or a cross domain innovation. Obviously, when you have a IoT solution which is across multiple domains, you if you work for 5 10 years in the IoT area, right? Obviously, uh, you will have to understand each piece of it if you want to uh, handle a very huge IoT solution project. Let's say for smart city, how do you design a big solution which involves, let's say, $100 million project to make sure the maintenance cost of the city is coming down. Some such things are possible, right? So uh, that is one way to look at it. So you need to wait for 5 10 years or probably you need to work is what this is my perspective. I'm not the I'm not I mean final authority for this. You guys can, and only thing you might want to be aware is there is so much of change that is happening. The rate at which the technology is changing due to AI ML in the world is so fast that you should be able to catch up faster. Otherwise, you can be left behind in the the fight for survival. So don't try to my sincere recommendation to all youngsters is be a don't try to be a survivor. Try to be a leader or a fighter. Just fight and make sure you learn new things. Come out of your comfort zone, learn new things, and get into the growth zone. Conquer the fear zone. That's how I would like to. Yeah, these are all sustainability, 6G, AI, OT. I think there are more topics for maybe next sessions. This is the future of IoT as I perceive. AI plus IoT will go together for a long time, next 10 years. A lot of changes will come. And as I said, apart from learning these things, you should be able to catch up with the ongoing AI trends which are connected with IoT. Very important. And this is regardless of whether you are from a management background or a business background, or doesn't matter nowadays. You have to be good at everything to understand the whole scenario. Okay, so I am only a technology guy, I will only focus on technology. Those days are gone. So better be prepared, understand the business scenario, uh, the market, how it is going, the industry, how it is going, the political scenarios, the way things. For instance, if you see, right, India is pushing very hard on Indian defense products. So, which means it is a very good opportunity for all the youngsters to understand the current defense scenario of India, and then see how you can, contribute and become part of that whole journey of India. So that instead of only waiting for some MNC to come and hire you, right? So I think basically these are all different. Uh, Sustainable IoT is basically sustainability goals are there where IoT uh, should ensure that it should align with the sustainable goals, SDG goals. That is what it means. So we can talk about it next time if there is a chance. We'll see. So Agent
I
for
have a few questions.
yeah,
We did a
please.
survey earlier, so I have just a few questions. As you mentioned, students can do projects uh, before they start, or maybe can participate in workshop and hackathons. What you showed us. What advice would you give to the students who want to participate in any of the technical workshops or hackathons, but they feel they lack experience? And also how to choose the right competition or a workshop that will align along the side their career goals.
Uh, can you can you just is it typed or
Yes, I can share that with you. I can share that.
yeah, yeah, I stopped sharing. You can probably share the yeah. What advice would you give to the students who want to participate in technical workshops or hackathons? Yeah, I think the answer is pretty much within the question, is what I feel. You lack experience, right? Who is that person? Is it a specific person or
No, so we received this via our survey.
multiple?
Yes, survey.
Multiple. So experience, it will not come just like that, right? You need to try it out. So whatever comes your way, one, you look around for experts around you. Uh, for sure, whatever small opportunity you get at hand, you come to know, pitch in. Don't wait for some good day or some good thing to happen. Just get started, interact with people, and I'm very sure, regardless of the level of workshop or hackathon, there will be some experienced people who come there and interact with them. And for sure, I don't know, I'm assuming that everybody on this meet webinar, this 121 members, know how to use ChatGPT. right? So in today, you are all guys lucky, lucky guys. We didn't have these kind of tools when we were studying. We had to go through this big, you know, this big
Textbooks.
textbooks, and the talk to the professor's time was not available, and so on. So you are much more better placed in understanding how to enhance your experience. So the lack of experience, but there is initiative, right? You ask this question means you have the initiative. So work on your, just make sure you just jump in. That is what I would like to say. Any, like for instance, I shared one hackathon detail, right? IIT Madras Center of Excellence for Road Safety. Just pitch in and think as a normal person. Uh, that's what I meant in my profile, right? Critical thinking, design thinking, and innovative thinking. These three are very important for anybody who is a youngster to survive, fight, become successful, and become a leader. So, first survive, make sure you survive. Okay, so figure out the survival techniques. Then second, make sure you fight for what you deserve. So understand what you deserve first. Third, you make sure you become a leader within the framework that you are in. If you are in a student group, uh, don't I mean, I shouldn't say do's and don'ts here. It's your career and your choices after all. I only say that try to synergize within your friend circle, within your people around you. Make sure you connect with them. That will trigger the experience, and use all the tools that are available, whether it is chat gpt or cursor for coding, uh, and youtube, uh, training stuff. And we are always there for you. You can always mail us and contact us, either through mentor cloud or directly to me if they are, you have got my email id, right? So just get out of that comfort zone. That's all it is. It's all about coming out of the comfort zone. I am happy. I'm okay is not okay. That's the key. Don't be in that zone where you feel comfortable. Just come out of it and get into the fear zone. And when there is a fear zone, you do something, learn something to make sure you survive and learn something, right? When you learn something, obviously you will grow something. You will get something. You will grow. And write competitions or workshops that align. Yeah, it's a good question, but don't link your career goals with your what kind of workshops or competitions career goal is career goal where you just go after your passion, whatever is. Let's say for instance you are good at software, just be passionate about developing software solutions for whatever comes into your mind in front of you, right? Just design, keep designing, keep coding, that's it. And then debug, stabilize the solutions, and so on. But competition or workshop, obviously, every workshop and competition has its own grading. Some workshops are very costly. You cannot, I don't know, it depends on the affordability. So these things, you should not worry too much. Whatever option you get in front of you, grab it, participate. Then you will know. There is no bulleted rule that, okay, workshops by Badri are good, workshops by XYZ are bad. No. Every opportunity is an opportunity. Grab it. You will yourself assess. But one thing is for sure, there will be some standards. You will not be able to judge until you get into it. That's my point. Right. Hope I answered it to the
Yeah.
extent. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering that. And also seeing to the time that it's almost like past 15 minutes.
10,
So I
yeah,
would,
20
yes.
minutes. Yeah.
Yes, so I would like to just end this session, and I would like to ask you like a one key takeaway message for all the students who are listening to this session.
One key takeaway message:
Yes.
uh, understand deeply the three aspects which I have covered, which I try to trigger in your minds: critical thinking, design thinking, and innovative thinking. If you master these three things, I am very sure you will evolve from a survivor to a fighter to a leader to a successful person. Hope it helps.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. And
Thank
on
you.
behalf of the pod team and the Mentor Cloud, I would like to extend my gratitude to you
Yeah.
for giving the time to us and talking about all new different things. And yes, a lot of career options, what you have shown a path to the students. And to all the
Yeah.
students who have participated today, thank you for asking so many questions and the kind of curiosity you have shown through your questions and the kind of attendance what we have received, that's also very amazing. And I
Yeah,
just wish
and it would be nice to have some feedback also. Will there be any
yes.
feedback? Okay.
Yes, sir. So we have a feedback form. So I've just shared a feedback form, also a LinkedIn link where you all can share your quick instant LinkedIn link is for maybe you can just share your experience through this what you have attended, and also a feedback form if somebody have more questions related to it, the kind of career options or maybe any kind of projects you are looking for, or maybe you want to connect with Badrinath sir, maybe you can just drop in, fill in the feedback form, so we'll get more information from you later.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and I
Yeah,
hope.
and I am open to all across Pan India. No, I am not. I am generally very keen to, uh, more than ready to do what I can for any youngster who is aspiring to become a youngster. Right.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. And
All the best to all.
to all the and thank you so much for joining. And I would just
Yeah.
request everybody to fill in the form, and whoever wants to connect with sir can always connect through his LinkedIn or maybe the LinkedIn profile which is shared on the landing page.
Yeah, one second. Before I conclude, I want to really thank you all. And thanks to Aishi, especially for coordinating since 4 months, I think, in
Oh,
scheduling this. 3 to 4 months of follow up with me. Finally, it happened. Yeah, good. Thanks, Aishi. And thanks to Pod team and Mentor Cloud team. Thank you, all the attendees. Wishing all the best for everybody. Bye.
thank you so much, sir.
Bye.
So maybe you can end the session, you can leave the session. We'll just fill in the form and we'll also.
Yeah, I will exit the session. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I would request everybody to fill in these forms and maybe send it done or some done in the chat so we can end the session. Also request you to, if you find the session very interesting, you can always go on our LinkedIn page, Mentor Cloud's LinkedIn page, and drop in a comment. How did you find the session? Um, if you, we're just giving some more time to fill in the feedback form, and then maybe we can end the session.